Hi everyone, my name is Celeste. If we haven't met before, I'm the homeschooling mom of 3 boys. In this video, we're going to talk about fun, specifically 6 ways that we can add fun into our homeschools. When homeschooling our children, one of the things that I think many of us try to incorporate is making the homeschool experience enjoyable. Enjoyable for them and also enjoyable for you and for us as teachers. As we're homeschooling our families, as we're doing life every day, those are memories that are being built. It's what kind of inspired the thought of this video. Before getting into this video, I just want to acknowledge the reality that there are hard days and there are hard moments that we live through. There are moments that don't seem so fun, and that's part of reality. That's part of homeschooling. That's part of the journey. So we are traveling through this journey. The biggest goals that we have as a family is to make sure that our boys are getting a lifelong love of learning, that they love to learn, that they be lifelong learners, and that they enjoy the process of learning new things, that they enjoy the process of continuing to grow and to develop into who God is calling them to be. For many of these tips, I've actually done videos already that go maybe a little more in depth into these tips. If we've already done a video with this topic, what I'll do is I'll be sure to link it up in a card, and I'll also include it in the description box below in case you're interested in getting a little more detail kind of in our perspective regarding some of these points. All right, let's get into the video. Tip number 1 is always start together. I talked about in our morning meeting video how we start every single day together. Our boys this year are in 8th grade, 6th grade, and 4th grade, so they are in different levels of learning. But one of the things that really has helped starting the day together every single day. Time that we can regroup, we pray together, we do our calendar time, we do any joint subjects. It's just a time for us to kind of have those discussions that bring a lot of laughs, that bring a lot of insight, that bring a lot of questions. It really has helped be kind of that baseline that just brings forward the rest of the things that we are doing throughout the day. So tip number 1 is starting the day together. Tip number 2 is to make time for movement every single day. So as much as possible, it is so great to have a chance to have the boys go out and play every single day. A chance for fresh air. We live in a place where you have space out backyard, you can use that. If you don't live in a space where you're able to have that, there are a lot of great parks and different places, but I think kids need fresh air. And I think it's such a blessing when we can give our kids the opportunity to be out in nature, breathing that fresh air, getting running, pumping those legs, pumping those arms, getting oxygen in those lungs. So good for them. Not just physically, but it's also good for them on the inside. And so it's something that we really prioritize, making sure that the boys have time every single day to get outdoors as much as possible. Sometimes it's colder like it is right now where we live. It's very cold, but they bundle up and they are tough. They get out there and they still enjoy the weather. They participate in a weekly gym class and other opportunities for them to get outdoors, to run, and kind of get some of that energy out. And that's definitely one of the highlights of the day and something they always look forward to. Tip number 3 for adding fun into your homeschool is incorporating learning styles. So each one of our children is so different and they learn in different ways. What makes learning fun is when you can connect to what's being taught or what's being presented. So an example of something that we do here, for example, I may read them a lesson aloud. And then after that lesson, each of the boys may have their own activity that kind of goes more with their learning style. So an example, if we're reading about a place in history, you have a read and write learner, you could have that person write a summary, a written summary of what was shared in the lesson. For an auditory learner, it would be great to have a discussion, to be able to talk back and forth and share different ideas and thoughts regarding what was read. For a visual learner, and I do have a visual learner, it'd be great to have them do a drawing or a poster or a visual representation of what the lesson covered. And for those kinesthetic learners, which I also have one of those, it's great to be able to get them hands-on. For example, if you're talking about a certain building in history, you could give them some Play-Doh and they could make that, or some blocks so they could build what they imagine it would be. So it's being able to take the lesson and have each child connect to the information being taught in a way that makes sense to them in their brains. Number 4 is make it a game. So I had shared a video about our favorite learning games. Again, I'll be sure to link that video if you're interested. But finding opportunities to make learning experiences games, I think it's always a win-win here. One of the ways that I do it is that when we have reviews, for example, for tests and different things in history and science and geography, I'll go on the whiteboard and I'll write kind of a word bank. Then I'll do like a question and answer kind of session. So I'll ask them a question. The first person to raise their hand, they get to go erase the answer off the board, and the next two kind of come and we kind of rotate in a Jeopardy style game. It's always so much fun. And so instead of just doing like maybe a worksheet, I try to take a lot of the worksheets that we have and I make them into games. You can do it by writing on different note cards, having them mixed up, and then having them do matches of things that go together, things like that. I think whenever we have the opportunity to take something that otherwise maybe would not be that exciting for them to do, having things once in a while that you make into games. I try to do it at least weekly. We have at least 1 or 2 games inside of our homeschool week. It definitely adds a lot of fun, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughs. They enjoy it and I definitely do as well. Tip number 5 is make special days special. So for us, some of the most special days are our birthdays. So when we make our calendar in the beginning of the year, one thing that we do is we always take birthdays off. So all 3 of the boys and my husband and I, there is no school on our birthdays. And on those days, we just really enjoy the day together and do different things. Also, it's holiday time, for example, the last day before Christmas break or Thanksgiving break, I always try to make that final day kind of just fun. A fun day where we do different games, worksheets, special food. So having those special days kind of sprinkled throughout our homeschool year definitely adds a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and kind of breaks up the routine a little bit, which is always great. 6th and final tip for making learning fun is bringing that learning to life whenever possible. One of the ways that we can do this is by field trips. Field trips are so great. I think some of the most fun and exciting learning experiences that we've had as a family have been in field trips. We've been able to go, for example, to the VARK encounter and also the Creation Museum in Kentucky. That was super fun. Also doing some local museums, like museums of science and the local aquarium. We also were able to go to the Museum of the Bible that's in DC, have the pages of the book kind of come to life in front of them that they can actually see the animals that they're studying. And so when we went to the Museum of Science, we were able to see kind of an electricity show, which was so amazing. We were learning about that. And so then being able to see it come to life is really awesome. I think it really definitely adds a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and helps solidify also the learning that's happening in the book at home. Okay, so those are some of the ways that we try to add fun into our learning in our homeschool. If you have any ways that you'd like to share, please comment below. I'd love to hear ways that you add fun into your homeschool. I pray that you and your family are well. I pray you are blessed. I thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to talking to you soon.